Hello dear students, welcome to Physics Online CET classes for class 12 students. Let us continue the chapter Laws of Motion part 2. In part 1 we have studied motion of connected bodies and some multiple choice questions based on that concept, which was very important part of this chapter. And today in the second session I am going to solve multiple choice questions from the given CET material. We had given the CET material. In this chapter, again there are three parts. The first part is related to conceptual multiple choice questions. Second part is related to past competition multiple choice questions. Third part is related to applied multiple choice questions. Now, in today's class, I am going to discuss applied multiple choice questions. In applied multiple choice questions, you can refer the given material. In that, in applied multiple choice questions, again, they had given the list of subtopics. First, they had given multiple choice questions based on Newton's first, second and third law of motion. Then the second subtopic is related to a law of conservation of linear momentum and impulse. Then third topic is related to equilibrium of concurrent forces and motion of connected bodies. Then fourth part friction and fifth part circular motion. Now we can start applied multiple choice questions which are very important for your competitive examination. Now I am going to solve the selected few questions from each 5 topics from applied multiple choice questions. Now let us start Laws of Motion CET class part 2. Yes, from applied MCQs, the first part is related to Newton's first, second and third law of motion. Let us start with the first question. A player caught a cricket ball of mass 150 gram moving at the rate of 20 meter per second. If the catching process be completed in 0.1 second, then the force exerted by the ball on the hands of the player is. Yes, now you can observe the givens. They had given mass is 150 gram and it is moving with velocity. Mass and velocity are given. And also they had given a time 0.1 second. So we have to find force exerted by the ball on the hands of the player. So directly I am going to use a force formula F equal to ma. So here A is not given. So mass is given, keep as it is. In place of acceleration, we can write rate of change of velocity dv by dt, that gives acceleration. Now directly you can substitute the value. Mass is given, that is 150 gram. So we have to convert in terms of SI unit. 150 gram means 0.15 kg. Let us start writing 0.15 into velocity is 20 meter per second divided by time is given 0.1 second. So calculating these value, we will get the final answer F equal to 30 Newton. Here in this problem, acceleration is not given, but velocity and time interval are given. So just you can modify the formula, then you will get the answer 30 Newton. So option B is right. Second question, a particle of mass 0.3 kg is subject to a force F equal to minus kx with k equal to 15 Newton per meter. What will be its initial acceleration if it is released from a point 20 cm away from the origin? First you can concentrate on the givens. Again mass is given how much? 0.3 kg and the equation for force is given F equal to minus kx. Here k value is given 15 Newton per meter. Initial acceleration if it is released from the point of 20 cm away, which is equal to displacement means x value. So directly I can write the given equation. Here F equal to minus Kx is given. And we know the formula F equal to ma. It is given and we know this formula F equal to ma. Or we can write it as, we want to calculate acceleration. What will be its initial acceleration? So I can write the formula A equal to F divided by m. Now in place of F, already they had given the equation. F equal to minus Kx divided by m. So all the values are given. Calculate minus capacities. What is the value of K? K is 15 Newton per meter into displacement x value they had given. It is 20 centimeter. 20 centimeter means 0.2 meter divided by mass is 0.3 kg. Minus 15 into 0.2 divided by 0.3. So after calculating, we will get the answer 10 meter per second square. You can calculate this part, you will get the answer 10 meter per second square. So this is acceleration. Option C is the right answer. Third question. In a rocket of mass 1000 kg fuel is consumed at a rate of 40 kg per second. The velocity of the gases ejected from the rocket is 5 into 10 raised to 4 meter per second. The thrust on the rocket is, thrust means again it is equivalent to force. So we have to calculate thrust on the rocket. Again you can concentrate on the givens. Mass is given 1000 kg and this mass is consumed at the rate of 40 kg per second. You can observe the given. This is change in mass because the fuel is consuming, gas is ejecting from the rocket. So the mass go on decreases 40 kg per second. The velocity of the gases ejected from the rocket is, it is velocity 5 into 10 raised to 4. We have to find the thrust. So again we can use the formula, that is F equal to ma. But I am going to modify this equation. So here I want thrust. Thrust means again it is equal to what? Force. Here mass is not constant because as fuel consumes, mass go on decreases because the gas is ejected from the rocket. So I am going to rewrite this equation as, let us write it as dm divided by dt into v. You can observe. So what is acceleration? dv divided by dt, rate of change of velocity, is called acceleration. But here mass is changing, so we can write dm divided by dt into v. This is modified equation. Now let us substitute all the values. dm divided by dt, that is rate of change of mass, is given 40 kg per second. Then that is 40 kg per second and multiplied by velocity. Velocity is given 5 into 10 raised to 4 meter per second. Is it clear? dm by dt is already given 40 kg per second. So multiplying these two value, we will get 5 4s are 2200 into 10 raised to 4 Newton. This is the answer. Or we can write this answer as 2 into 10 raised to 6 Newton. 2 into 10 raised to 6 Newton means option C is the right answer. Fourth question. A truck is moving on a frictionless surface with uniform velocity of 10 meter per second. A leak occurs in the water tank of the truck at the rate of 2 kg per second. What is the speed of the truck after 50 seconds if mass of the truck is 100 kg, mass of water in the truck initially was 100 kg. So here you can observe the question. So truck and it contains water. Mass of truck plus mass of water they had given. Let us take them as the system. System means initial. We can write here initial system. What it contains? Initial system means what? This system contains a truck. Truck contains water. So I can consider as mass of a truck plus mass of water. This gives what? Initial value. Let us take together as a system. Mass of truck, mass of water. Initial values we have to write. You can observe the last sentence. Mass of the truck is 100 kg. Mass of the water was initially 100 kg. So 100 plus 100. It means 200 kg is the initial mass of the system. Now, when the truck starts to move on a frictionless surface with certain velocity, velocity is given 10 meter per second, water leakage occurs. So let us write water is leaking. Water is leaking at how much water is leaking? They had given 2 kg per second. For 1 second, 2 kg of water is leaking here. Water is leaking at 2 kg per second. Is it clear? Then, after 50 seconds, what is the speed of the truck? So, what happens here? After 50 seconds, for 1 second 2 kg, for 50 seconds means what is the answer? 2 kg into, this is 50 seconds. 2 into 50, what is the answer? 2 into 50 means 100 kg. So this is after 50 seconds. Is it clear? Then what is the final mass of the system? This is initial mass. 200 kg is what? This is initial mass. After 50 seconds, so 100 kg water leakage occurs. Now we have to find the final value. So final mass of the system. How to write the final mass of the system? Final mass of a system. We can write. What is the final mass? 200 kg was initial mass. 100 kg was final mass. So 200 minus 100 means how much? 100 kg. So 100 kg is what our final mass remained in the truck. Is it clear? This is initial value, this is after 50 seconds and this is final value. What we have to calculate? I want velocity, speed we have to calculate. So here we can use the law of conservation of linear momentum. According to law of conservation of linear momentum, we can use conservation of linear momentum. We know that linear momentum before collision is equal to linear momentum after collision. For this particular problem, we can say that linear momentum before leakage is equal to linear momentum after leakage. So once we can write this is before leakage is equal to what? After leakage. So before leakage means initial values. We have to write, let us take it as mass into velocity. Here also mass into velocity because linear momentum is product of mass and velocity. Now substitute their value. Linear momentum before leakage, mass before leakage is how much? Initial value 200. Before leakage, what is the value of the truck? Speed. Velocity is how much? 10 meter per second is equal to, after leakage, mass becomes 100 into V keep as it is. Is it clear? So let us take it as V dash. There is no confusion. So then what is the final answer? So we can write V dash equal to 200 into 10 is 2000 divided by 100. So the answer is 20 meter per second. Is it clear? So when they had given two cases before and after collision or before and after leakage, before and after firing. In these type of numerical problems, we go for linear momentum equation. So option A is the right answer. Fifth question. A particle of mass m is acted upon by a force F given by empirical law F equal to R divided by T square into V of T. This is empirical equation. If this law is to be tested experimentally by observing the motion starting from the rest, the best way is to plot. So to represent or to observe motion of an object from the rest position, so which option is the best way to plot a graph? So that we have to determine. So first we go for the given equation. What is the given equation? They had given empirical law F equal to R divided by T square into V of T. This is our given equation. We know that general formula. What is the equation for force? F equal to ma. This is equation, given equation, empirical law, and this is force formula. So from these two equations, we can write, here I am going to write, mass into acceleration is equal to R divided by T square V of T. Because LHS is same, so we can write their RHS values. Or we can write this equation as mass capacities, acceleration is rate of change of velocity dv by dt is equal to R divided by T square V of T. So this equation I am going to use here. So let us integrate the above equation because you can observe the options here. They had given a log of V of T. So we go for integration. It will be very easy. Integrating the above equation on both sides. So we can write it as m capacities integration of dv divided by dt is equal to, because m is mass constant, and here we can write integration of R by T square V of T. Or this equation, for our convenient, we can write here it as dv capacities, this V from RHS I am going to write here dv by V is equal to integration of remaining values R into dt divided by m. From LHS side we can take on RHS side, it will come to denominator, m remaining is T square. So I wrote in this form because you can observe the LHS side, it is of the form 1 by V into dV. We have the standard formula 1 by x into dx is equal to log x. That equation we can utilize here. For that reason I wrote dV by V. Yes. So from LHS side, after integrating we got log V is equal to, here I can write R divided by m. This is constant, take outside. Remaining is what? T raised to minus 2 into dt. Log V capacities, R by m capacities, integration of x raised to n, T raised to minus 2. Means we can write T raised to minus 2 plus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1 after integrating. So we got log V is equal to R divided by m capacities, T raised to minus 2 plus 1, it means T raised to minus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1 will be minus 1. Or it can be written as, here I am going to write log V is equal to R by m capacities, T raised to minus 1 can be written as 1 by T minus capacities. Or log V equal to minus of R divided by m into T. So this is our final answer. Is it clear? Now we can write it as log V. Here it is inversely proportional to time here. You can observe the above equation. Log V is inversely proportional to time. So this is the best way to plot the graph to represent or to observe motion from the rest place. Go for the options. The first option, log v of t against 1 by t. And the second one, v of t against t square. Third one, log v of t against 1 by t square. Fourth one, log v of t against t. Out of these four options, which is the right answer? Log v of t against 1 by t. That means option A is the right answer. Sixth question. A body under the action of a force F equal to 6I minus 8J plus 10K acquires an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. The mass of this body must be. So force is given, acceleration is given. Directly we can use the force formula F equal to m into A. I want mass. M equal to F divided by A. Substitute the value, you will get the answer. So the force value they had given 6I cap minus 8J cap plus 10K cap divided by acceleration is 1 meter per second square. How to solve these questions? The force value is given in terms of magnitude and direction. Vector I, J and K. These are unit vectors and their value is equal to 1. So you can use to find the magnitude of the force. We have this formula Fx square plus Fy square plus Fz square. This formula you can use here. Fx square means it is 6 square plus minus 8 square plus 10 square. So you will get the answer 6 square 36 minus 8 square plus 64. 10 square is 100. So we will get the answer 10 root 2. After calculating, you will get the answer 10 root 2. Substitute here. 10 root 2 divided by 1 is equal to how much? 10 root 2 kg. So 10 root 2 kg means we go for option C. C is the right answer. Seventh question. A gun of mass 10 kg fires 4 bullets per second. The mass of each bullet is 20 gram and the velocity of the bullet when it leaves the gun is 300 meter per second. The force required to hold the gun while firing is. Yes. So mass of the gun is given. Mass of bullets are given. Number of bullets fired is also given. Velocity is given. So in this formula we go for law of conservation of linear momentum. So we can consider law of conservation of linear momentum. So you can take mass of the gun is given 10 kg. Number of bullets, let us take it as n equal to 4. Mass of each bullet means we can take it as, this is, let us take m1 is mass of gun, m2 is mass of bullet, that is 20 grams, which is equal to 20 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg. This is mass of the bullet, each bullet, and velocity of the gun is given. Let us take it as v1 is equal to 300 meter per second. The force required to hold the gun while firing, F question mark. So here I am going to use law of conservation of linear momentum. Law of conservation of linear momentum equation we can use here. We can consider rate of change of momentum of the bullet in forward direction. When we fire the bullet starts to move in forward direction. So we can consider a rate of change of bullet in forward direction is equal to. So to fire the bullet we need a force, right? This force is required to hold the gun. This is law of conservation of linear momentum. So when you want to fire a bullet, we need certain force to hold the gun. So force F, rate of change of linear momentum of the bullet. This is rate of change of linear momentum of bullet in forward direction. Rate of change of linear momentum means we can use momentum formula here. This is almost it is equivalent to mass into velocity. So F equal to, I am going to write there are n number of bullets fired. So their momentum changes. So this is per second, or you can write the equation as, instead of writing m into v, you can use dp divided by dt. There is no difference because you can observe number of bullet. What is the value of dp? P means mass into velocity divided by time they had given. How much? We can write this equation as F equal to dp divided by dt. F equal to m into dv divided by dt. So here mass is given. So we can write n number of bullets into mass into its velocity divided by time. Now you will get the final answer. I am going to write here. Number of bullet is 4. Mass of each bullet is 20 into 10 raised to minus 3. This is everything related to bullet. Then into velocity of bullet after firing. When it leaves the gun, it is moving with velocity 300 meter per second divided by time is given. Per second we are firing. So we can write here it as 1. So calculate this value. We will get the answer. 20 into 4, 80, 80 into 300. So we will get 24,000, 10 raised to minus 3. 3 points you can move. So you will get the answer 24 Newton. So we need 24 Newton force to hold the gun while firing. C is the right answer. 8th question. A machine gun fires a bullet of mass 40 gram with a velocity 1200 meter per second. The man holding it can exert a maximum force of 144 Newton on the gun. How many bullets can be fired per second? Yes, so here first you can observe the givens. Mass of the bullet is given, so that is equal to 40 gram. 40 gram means we can write 0.04 kg. Having velocity 1200 meter per second. Now the man is holding with a maximum force. He is holding the gun with maximum force 144 Newton. How many bullets can be fired per second? I have to calculate number of bullets here. So same formula here. Again I am going to write F equal to dp divided by dt. For n number of bullets, we can write n into dp divided by dt. So here it can also be written as F equal to, instead of writing in terms of dp by dt, I am just going to write it as delta p divided by delta t. Because in place of delta p, we can write final momentum minus initial momentum. This is final momentum minus initial momentum divided by delta t. So F equal to final momentum. Let us write here it as n keep as it is, mass into velocity. Initial momentum. Before firing the bullet, gun and bullet both are at rest. Linear momentum is 0 divided by time delta t. Or we can write here it as n into mv divided by delta t. Now substitute all the value, you will get the answer. Force is given 144 is equal to number of bullets we have to calculate, keep as it is. Mass is given 0.04. Velocity is 1200 meter per second divided by it is firing per second means 1. So therefore calculate all these value, you will get the answer n equal to 3. Calculate these value, you will get the answer. Number of bullets can be fired per second is 3. So go for option B. 3 bullets can be fired. 9th question. A 100 gram iron ball having velocity 10 meter per second collides with a wall at an angle 30 degree and rebounds with the same angle. If the period of contact between ball and the wall is 0.1 second, then the force experienced by the wall is. Yes, so here an iron ball is going to hit the wall. Let us consider. So if this is wall, this is horizontal line, imaginary line we can consider. So I am going to hit, this is iron ball, it is going to hit here. So again it rebounds back. This ball again it rebounds back. Right? Now, this is having mass 100 gram, velocity 10 meter per second. It collides with angle 30 degree. You can observe it is going to collide with the angle 30 degree with respect to the wall. Remaining will be how much? 60 degree. Here it is 30 degree and here this will be 60 degree. If the period of contact time is given, the force experienced by the wall we have to find. Again we go for the same formula, F equal to. So here remember only horizontal linear momentum is changing, not vertical momentum. Because we are going to throw iron ball horizontally towards the wall. Only horizontal quantity of motion is changing, not vertical. Vertical linear momentum is constant. Only horizontal part is changing. So we can write force equal to, generally we can write dP by dt. This equation we can use. So dP by dt means what? This is change in horizontal momentum. This is change in horizontal momentum with respect to time. This is time of contact with the wall. It is also given 0.1 second. Right? Or we can write here it as delta P divided by delta T. Right? So delta P by delta T, or we can write here it as mass into delta V divided by delta T, because momentum is mass into velocity. Right? So substitute their value. Mass is given 100 gram. 100 gram means 0.1 kg into delta V, here it is given. So here I am going to write, there is only change in the horizontal linear momentum. This iron ball is going to hit and again it rebounds back. Here I am going to consider this component. You can observe the resolution of a vector. A vector is resolved into two components. So from that we will get the equation V sin 30. It is going to hit with V sin 30 component. Here also it is same, V sin 30. So in place of delta V, so here we can write delta V means a change in velocity. So initial value, it is going to hit the wall with component of velocity V sin 30 minus of, again it rebounds back with the same value but in opposite direction. So we can write minus V sin 30 degree. This is component of velocity. Why we have to consider negative sign? Because initially it is moving in forward direction. After hitting the wall, it rebounds back with opposite direction. So we can write minus sign. And time value is given. The time of contact is 0.1 second. So F equal to 0.1 into. So minus into minus will be plus V sin 30 plus V sin 30 means we can write 2 V sin 30 divided by 0.1. So 0.1 will get cancelled. So 2 V sin 30. Right? Substitute their value. 2 into velocity is given 10 meter per second. Sin 30 is 1 by 2. So 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So we will get the final answer F equal to 10 Newton. So here the force experienced by the wall is how much? 10 Newton. So option A is the right answer. 10th question. The rate of mass of gas emitted from the rear of a rocket is initially 0.1 kg per second. If the speed of the gas relative to the rocket is 50 meter per second, mass of rocket is 2 kg, then acceleration of the rocket in meter per second square is. Yes. So here they had given change in mass, means we can write it as a rate of change of mass. Rate of change of mass dm by dt is equal to, it is given 0.1 kg per second. Then speed of gas relative to the rocket is given. Speed of gas relative to the rocket means VGR. What is VGR? Velocity of gas relative to the rocket. VGR equal to, it is given 50 meter per second. Then mass of the rocket is given. Let us write it as mr. There is no confusion. So mass of the rocket is 2 kg. Right? So now you can observe the rocket means no net force is acting on the rocket from the outside. So there is no force is acting from the outside here because it is in the space. That's why linear momentum is conserved. No net force acting on the rocket. So linear momentum is conserved. No net force acting from outside on the rocket. Therefore, linear momentum or its momentum will be conserved. So when momentum remains constant, we can write the equation dp divided by dt is equal to 0. So why dp by dt equal to 0? Because there is no force here. Because we know this equation f equal to dp by dt. No net force is acting. So dp by dt is equal to 0. Right? Or this equation can be written as d by dt of. So P means linear momentum, that is mass into velocity is equal to 0. So this equation can be written as, so this is product rule you can apply, m into dv by dt plus v into dm by dt is equal to 0. This is product rule we applied. Substitute their value. Mass of the rocket is 2 into dv by dt means acceleration of the rocket AR plus velocity 50 into dm by dt rate of change of mass 0.1 kg per second. So calculate these value, we will get the answer AR equal to minus 2.5 meter per second square. Calculate, you will get the final answer minus 2.5 meter per second square. Then what this negative sign indicates? Negative sign, it shows that acceleration direction is opposite to the velocity. Because a rocket is moving forward, the gas ejected is in backward. So that shows negative sign. So the answer is 2.5 meter per second square. We should consider only magnitude. So 2.5, it means we go for option C. So these 10 questions are based on Newton's first, second and third law of motion. Now we go for the second part from applied questions. These questions are related to momentum, law of conservation of momentum and also impulse. Right? Go for the 17th question. Refer the given material. I am going to start with the 17th question. Second part from applied MCQs. 17th question. An object at rest in space suddenly explodes into 3 parts of same mass. The momentum of the 2 parts are 2p I cap and p j cap. The momentum of the third part. So here they had given an object. If this object is at rest in the space and it is exploded into how many parts? 3 parts. Right? In that, all the 3 parts are having same mass, m, m and m. The linear momentum of the first 2 parts they had given. The first one is having 2p I cap. Second one is having p j cap. we have to find the third part, momentum value, right? So we can write total momentum. So what is the total momentum? So total momentum, we can write here it as, they had given 2p I cap plus p j cap. This is the value of two exploded values. Now I am going to write magnitude, their magnitude value. Magnitude means we can write the formula. We know that square root of px square plus py square means we will get px means 2p square plus p square, right? So 2p square plus p square. 2 square is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5. So 5p square. Or we can write square root of 5 into p, right? So here we want the third part. So the combination of first two part that gives the third part. So that gives the square root of 5p. So you can observe the given options here. The second option is right. It is having magnitude. This is p root 5. Option B is the right answer. 18th question. A bullet is fired from a gun. The force on the bullet is given. F equal to 600 minus 2 into 10 raised to 5 into T, where F is in Newton, T is in terms of second. The force on the bullet becomes 0 as soon as it leaves the barrel. What is the average impulse imparted to the bullet? Yes. So first I can write the given equation of the force. F equal to 600 minus 2 into 10 raised to 5 into T. This is the given equation. So the force is 0 at time T. It is given here. The force on the bullet becomes 0 as soon as it leaves the barrel. So when we fired the bullet, the force on the bullet becomes 0. After leaving that gun, the force becomes 0. Therefore, we can write 0 equal to 600 minus 2 into 10 raised to 5 into T. Or we can write here it as T equal to 600 divided by 2 into 10 raised to 5. Calculate this value, we will get T equal to 3 into 10 raised to minus 3 second. This is the value of time here. But I want impulse. Impulse means force into time. So we can write, because of a variable time, I have to integrate impulse equation. So let us write impulse, that is integration of force into time, F into dt from the limit 0 to t. This equation we can use. So integration of force, they had given 600 minus 2 into 10 raised to 5 into t. This is force into dt, keep as it is, from the limit 0 to t here. So we can write the equation 600 t minus 2 into 10 raised to 5 integrate, we will get t square by 2, right? Or we can write it as, this is from the limit 0 to t value is how much? We got 3 into 10 raised to minus 3 second. Here this value I substituted. Now substitute in this formula. 600 into t value 3 into 10 raised to minus 3. Right? 2 and 2 will get cancelled. Remaining is minus 10 raised to 5. T square 3 into 10 raised to minus 3 square. So calculate these value. 1.8 minus 0.9. So we will get the answer 0.9 Newton second is the SI unit. So 0.9 Newton second is the impulsive force. Option D is right answer. 19th question. A stationary bomb explodes into 3 pieces. One piece 2 kg mass moving with velocity 8 meter per second at right angles to the other piece of mass 1 kg moving with velocity 12 meter per second. The mass of the third piece is given 0.5 kg, then its velocity is. So a bomb is exploded into 3 pieces. Mass and velocities of 2 pieces is given. We have to find velocity of the third piece. So we can directly go for a law of conservation of linear momentum. Let us write P3 equal to square root of P1 square plus P2 square. Right, that gives linear momentum value. P3 means what here? We can write M3 into V3 is equal to P1 square M1 V1 square plus M2 V2 square. Substitute their value, you will get the answer. Mass of the third piece is 0.5 V3 keep as it is. Mass of the first part 2 and its velocity is 8 square plus the second exploded part mass is 1 into its velocity is 12 square. Yes, calculate these value. 0.5 V3 is equal to, calculating these value we will get the answer 20. So V3 equal to 20 divided by 0.5. So the answer is 40 meter per second. So this is the value of velocity of the third piece which is exploded from the bomb. So option D is the right answer. 20th question. A stationary body of mass 3 kg exploded into 3 equal pieces. 2 of the pieces fly off into 2 mutually perpendicular directions, one with velocity 3 I cap meter per second, other with velocity 4 j cap meter per second. If explosion occurs in 10 raised to minus 4 second, the average force acting on the third piece in terms of Newton. Similar question, we can use directly law of conservation of momentum. Yes, you can observe here, we can consider in coordinate system, it will be very easy to understand. So we can consider the first part is moving with velocity 3 I cap. So along x-axis, we can consider this is mass into velocity, mass P1, mass into velocity means it is equal to mass of each part is the same, that is 1 kg. So we can write 1 into velocity is 3 I cap. This is for the first part. Then second part is having velocity 4 j cap. 4 j cap means we go for y axis. Mass is 1 and their velocity is 4 j cap. Then the third piece, it will move in this direction, right? So we can consider mass is again 1 into. So we have to consider negative direction here because negative x-axis, negative y-axis, the resultant we can consider as minus 3 I cap plus 4 j cap. This is momentum. So we considered the third piece has momentum 1 into minus of 3 I cap plus 4 j cap. This is minus sign. Right? So now we go for average force. So generally impulse, we can take this formula. Impulse means what? Force into time. I want force here, average force. Force equal to, we can write impulse divided by time. So impulse is equal to what? Change in momentum. Remember in theoretical part if you have studied, impulse is a change in momentum. So change in momentum divided by time keep as it is. Right. Now write their value. Change in momentum. So change in momentum means we got minus of 3 I cap plus 4 j cap divided by time is 10 raised to minus 4 seconds. Or it can be written as minus of 3i cap plus 4j cap, 10 raised to minus 4 you can take to numerator, it becomes 10 raised to 4 Newton. So this is average force acting on the third piece. So 10 raised to 4 minus 3i cap plus 4j cap into 10 raised to 4. It means option D is the right answer. 21st question. A stone is dropped from a height h. It hits the ground with a certain momentum p. If the same stone is dropped from a height 100% more than the previous height, then the momentum when it hits the ground will change by. Yes, so we considered momentum. So generally momentum is given by the equation P equal to mv, and m capacities in place of v. I am going to write square root of 2gh. How we got this equation? V square equal to u square plus 2as. V square equal to u square plus 2gh, because we are going to drop a stone with a certain height. It is a freely falling body. It is under acceleration due to gravity. So we can write this equation. So initial velocity is 0 before dropping. So we got v square equal to 2gh, v equal to square root of 2gh. So I wrote here. So this is momentum m square root of 2gh. When the stone hits the ground from the height h, so we have this equation. Let us take it as equation 1. When the same stone is dropped from 100% above, if its initial height is h, in the first case, in the second case it will be 2h, because 100% more than the previous height. So in the second case, we can consider P dash equal to m into square root of 2g into 2h, because height is doubled here. So m into square root of 2 into 2, 4gh, m square root of 4 is 2, square root of gh capacities, or m 2 can be written as root 2 into root 2 into root of gh, m into root 2 capacities, root of 2gh, right? So m root 2 capacities, what is square root of 2gh? M into square root of 2gh is equal to what? Initial value. You can observe equation 1. We can write here it as P, right? So m square root of 2gh. So square root of 2 into P here. Is it right? Or we can write here it as square root of 2 is equal to 1.41 of its initial value. 1.41 means in terms of percentile, we can write here it as 141%. But compared to initial value means 141 minus of 100, we will get 41% is the final value, because we have to subtract its initial. Initially means how much it is doubled. 100% it is doubled. So 141 minus 100 means we will get the answer 41%. So option B is the right answer. Now we go for third part of applied MCQs. The third part questions are related to equilibrium of forces, motion of connected bodies and pulling. That is 24th question. A man weighing 80 kg stands on a weighing scale in a lift which is moving upward with uniform acceleration of 5 meter per second square. What would be reading on the scale? G value is given 10 meter per second square. We already solved this type of questions in the last session. You can remember when the lift is moving in upward direction. So we have to consider G plus A. When it is moving downward, G minus A. So according to that, we can write apparent weight of a person. Apparent weight, we can write W equal to, general equation is M into G, right? But when it is moving up, we can write here it as M into G plus A. So substitute their value. Mass is given 80 kg, acceleration due to gravity is 10 and acceleration is 5. 80 into 15. So we will get the answer 1200 Newton. So 1200 Newton means option A is the right answer. 25th question. Two blocks of masses 5 kg and 3 kg are placed in contact on a horizontal frictionless surface as shown in the figure. A force of 4 Newton is applied on mass 5 kg. Acceleration of the mass 3 kg will be. So we already solved these questions in the first session. You can remember the both blocks will move with the same acceleration because both are in contact with each other. Between them there is a contact force. So we can use directly the formula A equal to F divided by m1 plus m2. Remember this equation, direct formula. So force is given, that is 4 Newton. Mass is given m1 plus m2, that is 5 kg plus 3 kg. So that will be 4 by 8. 4 by 8 means 1 by 2, which is equal to 0.5 meter per second square. So option D is the right answer. 26th question. A spring balance is attached to the ceiling of a lift. A man hangs his bag on the spring and the spring reads 49 Newton when the lift is stationary. If the lift moves downward with an acceleration of 5 meter per second square, the reading of the spring balance will be. You can observe here, he is going to hang his bag to the spring inside the lift. So we can consider this is a bag. This bag weight is always acting vertically downward, W equal to mg. So here tension is created in the spring in the upward direction. So first we can consider when the lift is at stationary. When lift is standing or stationary, when it is at rest, we can consider W1 equal to what? mg, weight. When the lift is moving downward, descending order. When lift descends. So we can write W2 is equal to, when it is moving down, we can write m into g minus a. So therefore we can write W2 divided by W1. So W2 is m into g minus a divided by W1 is m into g. So calculate this value, we will get, m will get cancelled. So 9.8 minus 5 divided by 9.8. So we'll get 4.8 divided by 9.8. Or we can write W2 equal to W1 into 4.8 divided by 9.8. So here they had given weight 49 Newton into 4.8 divided by 9.8. Calculate this value, we will get the answer 24 Newton. So 24 Newton means option A is the right answer. 27th question. The system shown in the figure is released from rest when the spring was in its initial normal length. On releasing, the spring starts elongating. You can observe this picture. Acceleration of both the objects. Both are having mass m and m, which is connected to the spring. Acceleration of both m and m will be 0 after releasing. But this capital M, this part, this object will be accelerated down. Is it clear? When we release the spring, you can think practically here, when we release the spring, elongation takes place. So this m and m, there is no acceleration. They will be at rest, means their acceleration is 0. But when we release this capital M on this side, so it will be elongated for any value of m. So it starts to accelerate down, right? So there is no, it is not a numerical question. Think and answer here. The first option is m is greater than small m. Second option, capital M should be greater than 2 times of small m. Third one, m is less than m by 2 for any value of m. So already they had given the statement. The system shown here in this figure is released from the rest when the spring was in its normal length. On releasing, what happens? The spring starts elongating. When we just release it, so there is no acceleration of these two values, right? But on this side, whatever may be its value, but it starts to move down. Is it clear? Because it is connected to pulley, when we release, small m remains the same. So these accelerations are 0. And this part starts to move in a downward direction with certain acceleration. So for any value of m that may be less than or equal to or greater than, this block starts to move for any value of m. So we go for option D. 28th question. Two masses m1 5 kg, m2 4.8 kg tied to the string are hanging over a light frictionless pulley. What is acceleration of masses when a lift is free to move and the g value is given? So here you can observe this diagram here. The first part you can observe. Here weight of the block is acting downward, W equal to, we can write here it as m1g. Tension in the string is created here. For the second part, weight of the block is acting downward, m2g, and tension is created in upward direction, right? So come to the first part. We can consider here the net force. For the first part, it will be equal to T tension minus m1g, right? This is equal to what? F net, means we can write here it as m1a, right? m1a, this is net force. So upward is tension, downward is weight of the block. For the second part, here we can write F net, this is for the first part. For second side, we can write net force F net is equal to, so here it is hanging down. So we can write m2g minus tension. It is moving up, it is moving down. Which is greater, that value we have to write first, right? These are the net value. So we can write equations of motion for the first part. Equation of motion for first block, we can take it as for m1. So we can write net force F equal to T minus m1g. It is moving up. Similarly, equation for m2. How to write equation for m2? F net is equal to m2g minus t, because it is moving down, right? So this is equal to m1a and this is equal to m2a. This is equation 1, equation 2. So from these two equations, we have the formula a equal to, we can write here directly. You can remember this equation in this type of problems. m2 minus m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into g, right? m2 minus m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into g, and tension is 2m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into g. So these are the important equations you have to remember. So now substitute their value. We want just acceleration. You can take only the first equation. A equal to m2 minus m1 5 minus 4.8 divided by 5 plus 4.8 into g value 9.8 they had given. Calculate, you will get the answer 0.2 meter per second square. Similarly, if they asked tension, go for the second formula, calculate. So now the answer is 0.2 meter per second square. Option C is the right answer. So now we go for the fourth part of these applied questions, that is about friction. Let us start with 51st question, friction part. 51st question, pulling a roller is easier than pushing because. pulling a roller is easier than pushing. What is the reason for that? They had given the statement. Pulling is very easy than pushing the roller, because you can observe here. Let us compare pushing and pulling the roller. So if I am going to consider this is a roller, weight of the block is acting downward, normal reaction is acting upward. Let us write it as R. So here I am going to push the block. This is pushing. We applied force. I am going to push the roller. Here the friction is created, small f. So friction means generally it is when we started to push, means kinetic friction is produced. We can write Fk equal to mu k into R. Or you can write here mu k into, so normal reaction is equivalent to weight of the block. So we can write W. So this is for what? Pushing a roller. When it comes to pull the roller, what are the changes occurs? You can observe. This is a roller. Again, weight of the block or the roller is acting downward. This is normal reaction. So when we pull the roller, again the friction is created here. Is it clear? Now, here you can observe. So when we pull the roller, this is the roller, resultant force. Let us resolve into two components, right? The component values will be F cos theta and another one is F sin theta. This is when we are going to pulling the roller. Now observe the differences. Again friction is given by the formula Fk equal to mu k into R. Mu k keep as it is. What to write in place of R? Normal reaction. In vertical direction, two forces are acting, F sin theta and R, and downward W. So in place of W, weight of the block minus of the component F sin theta. This is the difference. So we required less force in pulling comparison to the pushing the roller. So therefore pulling is easier than pushing, right? So which is the right answer? When we pull a roller, vertical component of pulling force acts in the direction of the weight. It is acting but not in the direction. This is not the right answer. Go for option B. The vertical component of pulling force acts in opposite direction of the weight. Yes, this is the right option. Option B is the right answer. 52. A block of mass 1 kg lies on horizontal in a truck. The coefficient of static friction between block and the surface is 0.6. Acceleration of the truck is 5 meters per second square. The frictional force acting on the block is. Yes. So here first we go for the given values. Mass is given 1 kg. Coefficient of static friction mu s is given 0.6. Acceleration is given 5 meters per second square. So friction I have to calculate. What is the formula for friction? Fs equal to mu s into R. Or mu s into, in place of R we can write weight of the block because both are equal and opposite. Mu s into, in place of W we can write m into G. So mu s is given 0.6, mass is given 1, G value we can take it as 10. So what is the answer? 6 Newton. So the frictional force acting on the block is 6 Newton. So option B is the right answer. 53. An eraser weighing 1 Newton is pressed against a vertical blackboard with normal force 5 Newton. The coefficient of friction mu between eraser and the blackboard is approximately 0.4. The force along blackboard to move the eraser is. Yes, so let us consider this is the blackboard. Here I am going to press an eraser, right? So this is weight of the eraser acting vertically downward, W equal to mg. They had given it as 1 Newton. It is pressed against a vertical blackboard. Here I am going to press it. So this is normal reaction R. With normal force, they had given R equal to how much? 5 Newton. The coefficient of friction exerted here, because when we leave this eraser starts to move downward, friction is in upward direction. This is friction having coefficient as mu. Then mu value they had given 0.4. The force along blackboard to move the eraser is. So we have to find the value of force here. As the eraser, this eraser has to be moved against this friction. We have to move this eraser against the friction. So first we can go for the friction formula, that is Fs equal to mu s into R. Substitute their value, mu s is 0.4. R value they had given 5. So we will get the answer 2 Newton. Is it clear? So weight that plays no role here, as weight is not equivalent to normal force, normal reaction. Here, normal reaction is acting in horizontal direction. Weight is equal and opposite to friction. So, there is no much role of weight here. So, the answer is 2 Newton. Option A is the right answer. 54. A marble block of mass 2 kg lying on ice, when given a velocity of 6 meter per second, is stopped by friction in 10 seconds. Then the coefficient of friction is. See here, a marble block having mass 2 kg. It is placed on the ice with velocity that is given 6 meter per second. Then it is stopped, means final velocity is 0. Time is given 10 seconds. We have to find coefficient of friction. So first we go for the acceleration. We know the formula V equal to U plus AT, 0, 6 plus A into 10. So therefore we will get the answer A equal to minus 0.6 meter per second square. Here retardation occurs because it is going to be stopped on that ice cube. So this retardation is due to what? Frictional force. So we go for friction. So friction, here we can write it as mu s into R. Or we know the formula for force, F equal to ma. So here friction and force both are equal. That's why your marble block come to rest. Therefore I can write it as mu s R is equal to m into A. Mu s into W equal to m into A. Mu s m g equal to m into A. M and m will get cancelled. So therefore mu equal to, we can write A divided by G. A by G value they had given. A is 0.6. You should write only magnitude. Divided by G value we can take 10. So the answer is 0.06. This is coefficient of friction. So 0.06 means we go for option D. 55. The coefficient of static and dynamic friction, means kinetic, between a body and the surface is given 0.75, 0.5 respectively. A force is applied to the body to make it just slide with constant acceleration, which is force required just to move a body, means that is limiting friction, maximum friction. So I am going to write static friction, Fs equal to mu s into R, or we can write mu s into W or mu s into m into G. This is for static friction. So when it just start to move, when it is ready to move, just move. So when the body moving with constant acceleration, if it starts to move with constant acceleration, then we can write the net force acting on the body. The net force means applied force minus frictional force. When it starts to move, dynamic friction produces F minus Fk equal to ma. Right? This is equation 1. This is equation 2. So we know that kinetic friction means Fk equal to mu k into, instead of mu s, we have to write mu k m g, equation 3. So I want acceleration. Therefore, I am going to write from equation 2 A equal to F minus Fk divided by m is equal to, what is the value of F? So in place of F, I am going to write equation 1 because static friction is equivalent to applied force. It is ready to move but still it is not moving. So in place of F, I am going to write mu s mg minus, in place of kinetic friction we can write mu k mg divided by m. So here m is common, take outside, remaining is mu s into g mu k into g. So one is static, another one is kinetic. So m will get cancelled. So we can write here it as mu s minus mu k into g. Substitute their value. Here I am going to write A equal to 0.75 minus 0.5 into g. Calculate these value, we will get the answer. I am going to write directly the answer, g divided by 4. So g by 4 means option A is the right answer. So these questions are based on friction. Now the last part we go for circular motion and banking of the road. Last part, 79th question. A car moving at a speed of 20 meters per second on a banked track and describes an arc of circle of radius 40 into square root of 3 meter. The angle of banking is, g value is given. So this is the direct question, angle of banking. We have the formula tan theta equal to v square divided by rg. Directly you can substitute, you will get the answer. Tan theta equal to v square. So v value is given 20 square, 20 meter per second. The radius is given 40 root 3 into g value is 10. So 20 square divided by 40 root 3 into 10, we will get the answer 1 by root 3. So 1 by root 3 means it is equal to 30 degree. So 30 degree means option D is the right answer. 80th question. A fighter aircraft is looping in vertical plane. The minimum velocity at highest point is, r is radius of the loop. So remember, for vertical plane minimum velocity at the highest peak, generally we should use the formula v equal to square root of mu g r. This is our formula. So when it is moving in a vertical plane, means it is moving around the loop, almost the mu value is negligible because friction is very less. So directly we can write the equation g into r. This equation you have to remember, v equal to square root of g into r, mu is neglected. So square root of g into r, it means we go for option C. 81th question. The minimum velocity with which a car driver must traverse a flat curve of radius 150 meter, coefficient of friction 0.6 to avoid skidding is. So here the car is moving along a flat curved surface. Flat curve means we have the equation v equal to square root of mu g r. This equation you can use for circular road. Everything is given, substitute. Mu value is 0.6, g value is 9.8, r value is 150. So these are the direct questions. If you know the formula, then easily you can calculate. 0.6 into 9.8 into 150, we will get the final answer 30 meter per second. So option B is the right answer. 82. A bridge is in the form of semicircle of radius 40 meter. The greatest speed with which a motorcycle can cross the bridge without leaving the ground at the highest point is. Frictional force is almost negligible. So again we go for the same equation, v equal to square root of g into r, because mu is neglected. Coefficient of friction is very less, so it is neglected. Directly you can substitute the value G is 10 and R value, semicircle of radius 40 meter. So we will get the answer 40 into 10, 400. Square root of 400 is 20 meter per second. Option B is the right answer. 83rd question. A car of mass 1000 kg negotiates a banked curved road of radius 90 meter on a frictionless road. If the banking angle is 45 degree, the speed of the car is. So we have the formula direct equation tan theta equal to V square divided by RG. This is for banked circular road formula. So tan of 45 degree, this is angle of banking is given. V square, keep as it is. Radius is given 90 meter and acceleration due to gravity is 10. So calculate this value, we will get the final answer 30 meter per second. Right, because tan 45 is 1. So after calculating, we got the answer 30 meter per second. Go for option B. Right. So these questions are based on circular motion and banking road. So we solved applied multiple choice questions from each topic.